now. Doom, 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 doom.
Would you please stop singing?
Proximity warning. Planet ahead.
Grr! We're here! We're finally here!
Hello people from the internet. It's us again, the two very weird people of the internet. Jerry, how are you?
I'm amazing. How have you been keeping yourself?
Well, I've got some other beer this week. It's Guinness Extra Stout.
I have a bottle of water.
Because of the raging heat in Ireland.
Partially the raging heat and partially I have a friend who is trying to quit snus at the moment. So I said I'd knock the drink on the head until, or as long as they knock the snus on the head.
What is snus?
It's like a tea bag of tobacco that you shove up under your top lip and just let it percolate there. Just let all the tobacco-y goodness suck into your body through your gums.
So a variant of chewing tobacco, sorts of.
Like that. I believe the Norwegians call it the Swedish curse or something like that. They particularly hate the Swedes for coming up with it. I think the Swedes did it out of badness to annoy the Norwegians, but there you go. I don't know if you can see this. You probably can't. Let me get in close. Can you see that one of my eyes has exploded?
Oh, a bit. Was that my fault?
No, that was my sister saying she was going to come and visit last week. Then, just like an embolism, just popped in my brain. I assume. Who knows?
Could be. Well, if you're showing off your eye, I'm showing off my new red T-shirt. Extremely creamy. I love it.
Well, that is awesome. Yeah. How come I missed that? Because I get emails from them every day, yet I didn't see that one. Was that one of the? That wasn't one of their 24-hour ones, no?
Yes, that was one. And the more confusing fact was it was an advertisement on Instagram for 13 euros. And if you looked it up in the shop, it was 16. So I had to go via Instagram.
That is peculiar, to say the least, yeah.
Yeah, but it was worth it, I think. It looks awesome.
Oh, very much so. Very much so.
So, people on the other side of the screen, how are you all doing? I see Robert, Painting After Midnight, Hazy Boy, Dan Lee, The Days, Lorna. Anybody else?
Crazy Redcoat.
Crazy Redcoat.
Dutch.
And the audio levels are fine, otherwise you people would be raging and rioting right now.
Screaming like nutter butters already. That is true.
Oi!
If you can hear anything, it's my fan that's blowing up my ball sack at the moment. Normally it sits on the table beside me and blows straight into my face, but I've been told apparently it gets very noisy on the microphone by whining people who were listening to us RPG last night. And to be fair, the rest of the group and the GM. But, you know, apart from all of those people, I quite liked it. So now it's
the people who count didn't complain. So
that is true.
Well, then I think I've almost forgot to put you center, so I'm looking at you and not at the strange angled webcam. Let's go for some Conflict 47 by Night Runner. I don't think we had this one before.
No, it's exciting and new. It's so delightfully exciting and new. There's not much in it yet. All we've got so far is some US infantry and a big walker. But I quite like what he's done there.
I can see why. It's a very crisp, clean, good made paint job. Consistent. One of the things I struggle with.
It's a shocking amount of edge highlighting on those heavy infantry suits and their guns, which I would have probably given up on a long time ago. It is super clean. I just want to get in there with a sponge and chip the shit out of them, especially around the edges. Especially because those really sharp highlights on the edges of the armor and on the helmet and on the grill on the gun.
Fresh troops.
Oh, they're green. You're saying they're balls. They're going to go out there and immediately buckle under the pressure.
Yeah.
I'm all for that.
Just look at the walking tank thingy. That has seen combat.
Grizzly. Yeah, the Grizzly obviously has come up through somewhere else. Or maybe it's just that mucky because it spent all its time on its hands and knees hiding behind a hedge while the German walkers were just shooting at it, shitting itself. I don't know. Could go either way.
I never played Conflict 47, though these alternative World War II scenarios always looked fascinating.
It's not a bad game. I say that, it's not a bad game. It could be better, and the reason it could be better is this was being made by Warlord and Clockwork Goblin. At the same time, this Bolt Action was being made, 2nd edition. So this came out like a month before 2nd edition and it's like a 1.5. It's got bits of 1st edition. It's got not all of 2nd edition upgrades in it, and then it has some bits that we thought were going to be in 2nd edition that weren't at all. So it's this strange bastard of Bolt Action editions.
The in-between child.
They should have just went wholeheartedly for 2nd. And then added the extra stuff that they wanted to add into it. But I digress. All the time, I digress. But it's got a lot going for it. And I think they're like fan-made changes on Tinterwebs that just make it fully 2nd edition with wacky tweaks. My friend used it as a basis to actually make 40k, Bolt Action 40k.
Is that game still active or is it on hold?
Yeah. No, it's still active. It never really seems to get... Because it's mostly Clockwork Goblin. I keep on saying Clockwork Orange. Because it's Clockwork Goblin, and I don't know whether or not they're still around or if they're in a reduced capacity or something. It's not actually a Warlord main product. It's something that they're supplementing. So it never really gets thrust into the media like it should be.
I was thinking of Dust 47. That's out of print, is it?
Oh no, Dust is still there, but that's a whole other can of worms that I'm not getting into fucking ever. That's... Oh Jesus! Oh, the Dust and the Dust Kickstarter. Oh no! Best stay away from there.
Oh,
but
were they so bad?
No. But the licensing issues between Battlefront and Palo Parente Studio Dust, and it just became a massive clusterfuck, and people didn't get what they ordered, and stuff wasn't produced, and stuff was produced, but they were telling people that they had to pay additional. It was just fucked. Just fucked.
Speaking of a can of worms, I think I have to inject a little side project. You probably have seen these, but I thought they might interest you. Chromatary Forge 10mm Pictish Woodlanders.
Yeah. Yes, I have seen those.
Well, who would have guessed?
I mean, I have absolutely no issue with you showing them off because they look awesome. And I was looking at them going, I could do Wood Elves for Warmaster.
Yeah, and they have a weird pricing structure. I didn't quite at first make out how these are priced, and basically the tree we see on the right is a £9 pledge. So if you want multiples, you need to multiply your pledge, which is a bit weird at first, but once you've got the math...
Yeah, essentially it's £9 per blister pack.
Which isn't that bad. Could be better.
No, it could be better. Could be a whole lot worse. For a company that presumably needs to get things paid for off the back of the sculpts and all the rest, £9 for blister isn't unreasonable. If you look at what price some of the actual Warmaster stuff goes for in Fleabay,
No, we won't go that way.
No, we won't go there. But 20 years ago, it was £5 for blister pack, so £9, could be. Could be worse.
The blister packs aren't that small either. If I'm reading this correctly, there are 3 bases of each unit.
Yeah, it's exactly what you need. if they were Warmaster units, that is exactly what you need for units. So you're not getting extra, you're not getting less. It is literally a Warmaster blister pack per unit, so it's spot on.
Yeah, and they have some really nice designs. I'm not the fantasy type, but somehow those stood out to me for whatever reason, and I looked at them and thought, those don't look too shabby.
No, the only thing I possibly have qualms with are the bolt throwers they have, which just feel a bit chunky.
The ballista?
It's like X-wings. There you go. It's just that. It's just very super chunky. I don't know what they're getting from the second pair of arms that they're not getting from the original pair of arms.
Maybe it's a rotating barrel. And the
Could be,
foreshot.
certainly. Yeah, it's a foreshot. That would make sense. I stand corrected. If it's that, then that's fine.
So, after digressing myself, we go back and join the 24-hour painting marathon by Stormenwolf.
Yes, let's do exactly that. This is a chunky. I don't know if we've ever come. No, we haven't come across this.
No, I don't think we hadn't had a marathon yet.
Yeah, I do quite like. First off, Stormenwolf's Stormenwolf symbol. It's just awesome.
He's a fellow German and he's living in Ireland.
Yeah, I know. How mad is that?
Well, could be worse. He could be an Irish living in Germany.
They wouldn't be able to cope. Too laid back. I'm surprised he can cope down south, to be brutally honest, where it's an awful lot of we'll get it done eventually kind of things.
He had the start collecting box Lizardman.
Yeah, it's literally, I've got a day, I want to build, prime, paint, base this whole kit caboodle in a day.
Well, I can see the building part being made in a day.
Well, maybe they were already built and lying about, and it was, I just need to prime them and then base these bad boys and paint everything. Spoilers, there will be contrast in our future.
Oh, and green stuff. A day built and uses green stuff. That's determination.
Ballsy, isn't it? Breaking out the Aztec-looking rollers there.
I love these rollers from Green Stuff World and other companies. They make so much fun.
Especially if you find one of those pastry ones that's just covered in tiny dinosaurs. But yeah, it's a really nice, compact tutorial because even if I don't know if he's finished it all, I once I seen the start of it, I was like, oh yeah, I'll definitely look at this. But even if he hasn't finished it,
well, he cheated a bit.
The steps by steps on it depends. If it's 24 hours of pure hobby time, but spread over a couple of days, then I'll forgive him.
Well, he said he left the green stuff to cure for 24 hours. So.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, but if he took half an hour to roll them out and cut them,
and then just leave them,
I then just leave them to cure. That's fine.
And they do look really nice on the base.
Just seeing them, the step by step basing them up, and then after that, there's additional texture added, and covering up using the Sterling Mud technical paint to get rid of the seam between the cork and the green stuff bases, and then adding additional detail again. And I think this is in the form of resin tree stumps from possibly Green Stuff World, possibly somebody else. I'm not sure.
Green Stuff World tree stumps. Yeah. One small blister, one blister large. And then airbrushing. How's your airbrushing going? Has it clogged up so much that you won't work and you're getting really annoyed with it yet? Or have you been staying on top of that? I haven't done any more airbrushing since the first day. I couldn't find the time or motivation. Maybe in the coming weekend.
Valid. That is valid. I'm
still not sure what color I shall use for the containers to do. I thought of doing them just ultramarine blue, but that seemed so lazy. So,
maybe
go more for a brownish greenish, whatever.
Depends. Are they commercial shipping containers or are they military?
No,
You know.
these are the from the Conquest Warhammer 40k containers.
Yeah, but in your mind, are they military or are they
Or commercial.
like, go nuts, do some yellow, do some red, stencil some random company up the side of it.
Wayland Yutani.
Whalen Yutani, yeah. Trying to think of the Corellian shipbuilding company that used to get mentioned a lot in the old RPG. No, come to me. Anyway,
Yes. If chat
pink
knows,
containers, yeah. Apparently the chat says pink. I don't know why they've decided to push pink on you. It's not like you've ever sat in another comment section somewhere else.
I would do pink. I have no problem with doing pink.
There you go then. See, that color. We want that. Nice
Candy
powder
bright pink. It's basically
Yeah,
the
God,
same
yeah.
color I've used on the Gundam.
Yes, exactly. Do that. Yeah, you can add some chipping and weathering on it. It'll be fine.
And then hanging a skull with lots of innards hanging around. As a slight contrast.
Makes sense.
So he has
So I like-
a beast
yeah.
also.
He's a Carnosaur. Decided to go do his test model, and most people would go, "Oh, I'm going to paint 50 odd miniatures. I'll get a skink. I'll get the smallest thing I can find and do my test color scheme on that." He decided to throw down a challenge to himself by going, "Oh no, I'm going to do the biggest one.
Well,
Let's hope I don't screw it up."
with the big models, you have the advantage. If you throw another layer of paint over it without stripping, it's not as much covering up details.
If he's handy enough with the airbrush, he can get around that quite happily anyway. But
And I think the blue paint job isn't that bad.
no, turquoise and gold. You can't go wrong with turquoise and gold, especially not for South American lizard people. You know, I am a fan.
Not too shabby.
No, boy's got talent. I wonder what part of Ireland he's in. Does he say? Is he in Oma? There's somebody over in Oma that I want to go down and annoy.
Or maybe just invite him over to the studio. Lock him in.
That's a good
Let
point.
him do some airbrushing.
That could work. So yeah, returning to his bases now that they've fully cured, dried, and everything else. It's the problem with airbrush priming. You've got to wait
Yeah.
a day. You
And-
can't speed it up with heat. It doesn't work.
And I think he has a bit of a camera exposure problem. These colors look a bit too bright. But that may be just me.
I don't know. He may have deliberately gone over the top on the color because he's going to weather them down again.
That could be very well possible.
Or maybe he just wants super bright and shiny. It's like Rome. Everybody thinks of Rome as being, all cream white marble.
Was it
natural.
not?
No, it was a riot of color that would make you vomit.
Was it? Where was it? Was it Italy where they just found the mosaic under the vineyard?
They found it in Verona, in Italy, and then about 4 days later, they found a mosaic in Turkey that's fucking enormous when excavating for a hotel development. So like buses, mosaic flooring, two come along practically at the same time.
Oh, rainbow-colored riders.
Yeah. Panzercook. Pete's right in the chat there. Have a look at his project, or if you're on Tinterwebs, Dickie Boyd's builds as well. Both of them have got it. You can find some really interesting things about Rome being just this mental sort of
Really
lookout.
goes to town with the paper color scheme.
Yes, I quite like that. I like the half and half. Because a lot of time you'll see them and they'll be all one color for speed. If you are going to do something mental like this, the easy way out, the coward's way out, is just go, they're all green, they're all blue, they're all red, okay, they're all fucking one coat, dry brush wash, done. he's decided to add. It's like doing I'm going to do a 1,000 point painting challenge live stream army thing. I'm going to pick the Scots Guard and every fucker's in tartan. Why would I do this to myself? Likewise,
Well, some people just shoot themselves in the foot and have fun with it. So
it's certainly the way to go. And it's nice because it breaks things up as well.
And these bases really, really stand out.
Oh, they're so punchy. He has all the colours. The water effects came up quite nicely as well.
If the paint job of the minis doesn't hold up to the bases, at least he will win most beautiful bases of the next tournament he's in.
That's true. Not the officers. But the officers get shot first. Crazy. Don't have to worry about them anymore. So yeah, where did we get to?
We're at the end of the project.
We're at the end of the project. And
he still has some work to do.
In 5 minutes, he'll be going live on Twitch.
Well, sorry.
With the rest of the stream. Oh, that's unfortunate for him. He should have known better. Coming in here, trying to steal our viewers. Son of a bitch. Somebody nip in there in 5 minutes and tell him to fuck himself. Robert, you're a cunt. You'll do it.
Stop making people angry.
It's that's not making people angry. It's a really nice project, and he does seem to be
determined.
He is going for it. It's a 24-hour painting session tool, so he is timing his painting. So 1.5 hours here, 5 hours there. It'll all add up eventually.
I actually thought about the idea of doing a one-off 24-hour stream, and then I thought, nope, you can't do that alone. No fucking way.
Even with multiple people. Even with multiple people.
Yeah, it's. I've seen the toll it took on everybody on the Star Wars weekend. That's enough to reconsider my things. So next up, Bellinose Army by Postcard Poe.
It's a short one. I'm not just saying that because they're 15 mil.
So it's a tiny and short.
Tiny and short. But some nice bits and pieces in here. Especially the idea that the 15 mil figures can also be press ganged into being dwarfish, gnomish type of figures for 28 mil.
If they fit. And he's basically using the same basing material I use for my legions. Simply washers in the base, done.
It's the way to do it. It is the way to do it.
And it gives them a bit more heft on the other underside.
Yeah. And I mean, when you see that washer with the cork sand and the tuft, well, it's not tuft, it's blended turf type of stuff on it, or what do they call it? Coarse turf. It looks the part.
They look really cool.
Faces and bases, that's what it always comes down to. Bear in mind, those bears are all 15 mil bears, which means they're probably about the size of a dwarf. Bear Riders.
Green Hill Giants, or what are these green dudes in the second row?
I'm not sure what they're supposed to be. Trolls. He does have his army list in there.
Let's have a look. Read.
Hang on. I'm looking at pictures at the moment, so if you want to click on pictures, I'll read. So he's doing this. The reason it's Bellinose is after the Celtic sun god. Cobblestones, castings, blah blah blah, large monsters, blah blah blah. I think they're just meant to be ogres or some sort of large ogre type affair. Tell you a lie, he doesn't have his army list in there.
But they really look the part on the mat.
They do. They look well.
Almost makes me want to paint 15 mil. But almost.
Oh, yeah, you should lie down till that wears off. Don't worry about it.
Not going down that rabbit hole.
Yeah,
I think if I should ever switch from Star Wars and Battletech to any other size of Scale, I'll go full ham with a 3mm and just call it a day.
Go big or go home. I do like Cobblestone's Barbarians. Very nice.
Yeah, so
Probably pre-plaid Panzer.
having some buttons to give away, and off to the next.
Oh,
First ever gaming board build. So here we have Jim Bob 86 making his first battle board.
Yes.
Well, let's see how it goes. Oh, he does research with pictures.
He does do research with pictures, which I wholeheartedly agree with. I actually have a little folder full of pictures of the mountains of Mourne.
That's a great way to start if you're lacking inspiration or want to do something else than a flat green surface.
Yeah. I mean, if you want it to be natural, it's a great way. It's the same as for even just for basing your figures. A fella on YouTube just took photos of essentially the dirt, and then came back at him going, look at this, that's like 4 shades of brown, some different coloured rocks, little tufts of dried grass, little tufts of green grass, some little flowers, that's just here, and then here's this, and you're going, yeah, you shouldn't just be going green flock, walk away, done, or even green flock and bits of brown mud. You know, it's not natural enough. And you look at that and you're going, that just looks insane.
Can you remember the insanely colorful alien tufts we watched last week?
Gamer's Grass, Neon, Alien World tufts.
I think this isn't far off from it.
No. Probably Lucky Heather.
Could be. And some milling stones, or grinding stones.
Who knows? It's entirely possible they're just regular rocks of some description.
Well, they look a bit too round and too clean.
Don't they, though? Yeah. Isn't nature delightful? I mean, I'm not saying they're not milling stones, but I'm also saying to have them on top of that hill, I think is unlikely.
But get on with his project. So he has XPS, but the lighter version, which is a pain in the ass to clean up.
Yes. There were no extruded polystyrene, so you had to get the one with little balls. Little balls.
Well, one advantage, that stuff is much lighter.
Yeah. Can be an advantage. The downside is it is much lighter, which means if somebody wants to put a finger through it, they can.
Yeah.
So it's not as, it doesn't wear as easily, but that's not a major concern for this table build, as we'll see when we get a bit further down here. Why have I been logged out of?
Oh, the famous woodland scening rock molds. I have seen those multiple times on some Terraniac's channel.
Oh yeah, I think everybody and their dog has a set of them.
I have not yet. Still looking for a source to source them.
Yeah, you can get them. They're not cheap. They're not cheap on the grounds that once you've bought them, you don't have to buy them again. So they really make you pay for your first set.
Same with the molds from Hearst Arts.
Hearst Arts, exactly. Yeah, I think last time I seen those rock molds, they were sort of £20-30.
Yeah, and the copyright 1992 says it all.
Yeah.
But if you are an aspiring YouTuber or streamer and Terraniac, obviously you'll get your money's worth.
Oh yeah, very much so. So then he gets into a bit of the old.
Oh, he's doing shredded paper.
He is doing shredded paper, which is a really, really good way of filling these molds. Because it's light, it's cheap, it's as hard wearing as fuck, and it doesn't add a ton of, you can plaster cast them if you want. You will end up with, a ton weight on that board. I might do a jerry can on that down the line. The best way to do it is just bog roll, and I assume once we get out of coronavirus, what we'll have is an awful lot of people sitting with 30 or 40 boxes of bog roll in their house, and looking for a fucking reason to use it. So
Yeah.
that'll be something to look forward
The
to.
upcoming Halloween season will be very interesting.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so.
He already said he had used toilet paper. I just hope he's not one of the hoarders, but has a normal, healthy supply.
Yeah.
And then he used paints, inks, and acrylics.
Everybody loves big tubs of cheapest chips acrylic paint.
From the hardware store or the DIY store.
Oh, you get them from kids. We used to have a place called Edco before it shut down, where you just like it seemed like where primary school teachers bought their supplies for their classroom, and you just go in there and buy big piss off buckets of poster paints and stuff. It's great.
Well, this is still work in progress, and I think it's already looking very nice. The rocks are rocky.
The dirt is dirty. It does look like if you couldn't see that frame in the background of the window, that picture in itself looks like he could just be lying on his grass or in the backyard, because you can see the fence there.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't have to be inside. That's how realistic that looks. And considering he went, I'm going to make a board because I've never got round to it, and either lack of funds or confidence has always kept me clear of it. Going, really? Is this your first attempt?
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
Some people have more talent than...
Yeah, that's true.
Or they're fishing for compliments, in which case I would say, fuck you.
Yeah. Maybe he's hung like a shrew. We don't know.
Could be.
Could be.
Or he could just...
Oh, shut up, you cunt!
Oh, my beautiful video isn't really working. There was a delay.
You can't have everything. But yeah, after that he's breaking out the flock and the sieve.
But when he says lack of funds kept him, but he has 2 of not so cheap plaster casting forms. There's some things not quite matching up. But maybe he wasn't able to gather funds in the past, and now he is, in which case...
Yeah.
I wonder what his missus says to him occupying the sink.
I assume move that bloody thing.
What's for dinner? Static grass.
That's true. He could be a thief. Chris Cook, always prepared to look on the bright side. Maybe he just nicked them.
5-finger discount.
Yeah.
It dropped from the lorry somewhere. Yeah, but this is coming along really nice. It somehow reminds me of some other tutorial I've seen on YouTube way back when, but I can't make heads nor tails from it.
I wonder.
It could actually be either one of Mel's earlier videos, or maybe the one we are not talking about.
It wouldn't have been... Everybody did a D-Day board for a game store.
Wasn't that Mel also?
Yeah, that was Mel.
Mel did some amazing things. And I can't wait for him to get back on track with the studio. This is the thing where I think black rims on bases just don't fit. Brown, green, yeah, but black bases, come on. Why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing at anything at all. Why would I be laughing?
I don't know. Maybe the silly German is making a fool of himself again.
No. It's a fierce amount of tufts on that board already.
It is.
So much so that I would say he'd actually be better off buying one of the little flock boxes and making his own, because there's so many tufts on there. He's probably spent the equivalent of a flock box in tufts.
Probably. But,
Anyway.
but then again, the vibe I've got from the project was, I want it now, I can't get it now, I improvise. So maybe he just bought the store shelves empty from Tufts because they didn't have any flock box or a noch flocker, which is the weirdest name for a company when not speaking in German. Next up, we have this awful, dreadful, drop-dead, ugly hobby space, and I can't fathom. I hate you. SME7612.
Why would you even bother? If that's all you've got to work with, I mean, you just give up. It's not worth hobbying if you're stuck in something like that. I mean, it'll just get depressing.
Yeah. I mean, just look at it. He has a place for his PC, he has a gaming table set up, all the books are there, he has a spray booth, and he has 2 chairs. Why would you need 2 chairs?
So that your friend who comes over to visit can sit on one and just stare around them as the jealousy just creeps up on them.
That could very well be. So, he's done Fantasy Battle. Some
He has.
Skelly Bobs.
Skelly, as you say, Bob's discuss. So he's been breaking into the Mantic. We've lurked around this project before because he's been doing all sorts of old Warhammery stuff and other fantasy companies that will fit in. I think the last time we were here it was elves. Today the fun dead get a run out.
And he's doing a mixture of round and square bases. Or are these bases meant to be inserted?
They're integral inserts. Yeah.
Well, let's see where he's taking these. Oh, that's no more Skelly Bobs.
Yeah, Desert Yellow is a base coat for Skelly Bobs.
And then
that's actually a really good colour.
And then we've got golems.
Yeah, we have come midway in, but if we flip this round to the start, so we're coming at it the right direction, we've got quite a long way to scroll. But yeah, again, some Mantic Lesser Obsidian Golems. Gone full lava on those.
They're a bit too uniform for my taste. I see where he's going with them, but I think either they need a bit more highlighting in the depths to have a glow from the inside, or more darkness surrounding cold areas. But that's just my personal opinion.
No, I'm with you on that. For them to be obsidian golems, I do think they really need to be less lava. Yes, in the recesses, no to all over. But he may not be finished with them yet. Because when you look at the next bit, which is some Basileans.
You mean the nice people with the sharp edges?
There is nothing nice about them. Oh, sorry, I mean, yes, they're the good guys. totally the good guys.
Just be careful what you say, otherwise we'll have visits from the Inquisition or something.
That type of thing. They are, it's a whole army of paladins. How could they not be the good guys?
Yeah, I can see what you mean. He has added a lot of detail in these. Yeah. Especially the blue. So,
I don't know. And unless he's decided he really wants super lava and doesn't want to go any further, I don't know if the golems are actually finished yet. Time will tell. We'll find out. Because he had to go quite a way to get those Basilean paladins looking like that.
And maybe when everything's painted and sitting on the table, it will have something that will pull them together, so that they will look right.
Well, those obsidian golems, I don't know what he's going to be including them with if he is using them in Kings. But they wouldn't be fielded with the Paladins. To Bob Bretonnians, I think you'll find Bretonnians are the Order of the Brother Mark and the Order of the Green Lady, Doug, and not Basileans. Basileans are the nice people who went, you can come and work for us, peasants, and then threw coins at their heads.
The lions he finished look really clean. Which is the way elves supposed to look, I think. That's why I don't like them.
It's elves for you. I think it's probably more the fact that they're on the wrong base. If they're on square bases, you wouldn't mind so much that it was such a clean paint job.
Well, that could really be.
I imagine that's exactly what it is, yeah.
But you're being the connoisseur here, I'm just the little peasant playing that Legion game on round bases. With a specialized round base you can't get rid of if you want to play tournaments.
Super special. Barely an inconvenience.
Yeah, I don't really know what they thought of when they did that thing. Nobody would have bat an eye if they had used the standard ordinary 28.
The thing is, it doesn't make any difference for game or for using these measuring tools. So
Not really.
Somebody thought it was a good idea. Somebody was very wrong, but somebody thought it was a good idea.
Well, but I have to say, those bases from Legion being extra tall gives the opportunity to really have some weights in it to keep them down. That's the big plus on these.
The fact that it is the size of a fist means you can fit a fistful of coins in there, certainly, yeah. Yeah. However, if it had been a bit thinner, it would have a lower centre of gravity and wouldn't fall over as much. So that would have worked too.
Probably. Well, these are definitely not fantasy miniatures he has now in this project.
These are a mixture of miniatures. So front and centre there we have Victoria Lamb's Praetorian Guard, although they're not called Praetorian Guard. I think they may actually be called Victorian Guard. I should have the Michael Caine figure up there somewhere, but I can't be standing up to find him.
They look a bit like the dudes in the rows behind them, like Imperial Guards.
They are. So the ones at the front are fake Imperial Guard from Victoria Lamb in Australia. And if you look, you can't really see it. The Commissar with the gas mask is a classic Commissar, but with a more recent bolt pistol added to him. So that's the guy in the black coat on the left.
The thin guy with the flamer is a bit of a giveaway.
Yeah, but he's not. Those ones are mostly stand-ins. If you go to the bigger picture below, or actually either of the next two pictures, so either that one or the middle two above you, see the 4 on the extreme, or in fact the 5 on the extreme left. So you've got bayonet in the air down to kneeling down guy. They're all classic Games Workshop Praetorian Guard, and then the ones from Black Man across, so from the Commissar all the way across to the right, are all Victoria Lamb multi-part kit.
So you're saying somebody is infringing on GW's copyright?
No. They're merely copying colonial British troops, but in space.
In an alternative history setting.
Yep. So it's all perfectly fine. All perfectly fine.
I was about to say he didn't drill the barrels, but they are las guns. I don't think you have to drill barrels on las guns.
No, las gun is actually just a torch, so at the end of that it's just some sort of lens that they shine the light into people's eyes and hope they'll fall over.
Oh, it's a female officer. If I'm not mistaken.
You are not mistaken.
Well, that's some work he's done in the... Oh, here's a golden button. I don't think we... I think we had this... Oh, these look lovely.
Yeah. If you hit previous entries, you'll hit the pit that we had been in before. I think Tom's done some sort of paging type thing that nobody can quite work out how it works, including Tom. So...
The cannon loader, or no, I think we have... That must have been a very long time that we were here.
Oh, it may just have been me here with Ben, because the pair of us picked the golden button stuff on a Wednesday.
Here, the Lloyd shot from the bowman.
Oh, there you go, yeah. Yeah, so that was the last time we were here.
A month ago.
He's been busy in between, but he's been,
He's done nice.
He's been busy on days when I'm not looking for entries for our little chat.
People never seem to get the hang of it. As if they don't read the posts.
No, Victoria never worked for GW. She won a couple of Golden Demons and had some of her work featured in some of the codices in the past. So the Sisters of Battle Seraphim firing the Flamer directly at a Orc Killer can, and it was all object source lighting in the Sisters Codex, and her conversion of Nork Dead Dog carrying a wounded commissar before they had an official Nork model. Both of those made it into codices, but she never worked for GW.
Which is debatable if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
It's fine. It's all fine. We're all fine here. There's some... We didn't get a chance to talk about it because we were glossed over. There's a really interesting bit about liquid mask in there. If anybody's planning on using liquid mask and airbrushing, it's worth reading that.
I saw the bottle in the background, and the text he said, using it for the first time. It was ages since I bought it.
Yeah, he used it for the first time. It did not go well. He used it a second time. It went better. So it's a good what not to do type of thing. With liquid mask, more is more, because trying to remove a thin layer after you've airbrushed over it is almost impossible. Whereas if it's a nice chunky thick layer, you can just peel it off really easily. And he also uses blue tack, I think, to help pull it. So
it's basically a brush-on rubber masking.
Yeah, it is just like a silicon. He said, looking at some bottle of it. Natural rubber, so it's a type of latex.
Well, I'm never going to mask anything again, except with masking tape.
Sure, but you've got your lovely airbrush.
Yeah, I've done that once in the far back times. I've had from Revell the brush-on masking stuff.
Oh no, Dan! Don't browse the web. Oh no, too late.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Did we lose a wallet just now?
You know what you definitely shouldn't look for when you're on that website? You definitely shouldn't look for...
Log off now, before it's too late.
For Cardinal Fang, Biggles, and Jimenez, the Spanish Inquisition. That she does. Don't look for them. Don't look for them. Anyway, so that was good. We liked that project.
Well, next up, my way into historical. I remember that photo by Cuban Truck. I don't know how far we got in this last time.
We mostly, I think there's only one that we haven't looked at. And the only reason we're really dipping in here
because of his very interesting way to mount his laptop.
Yeah, it's fine. works for him.
Using MDF terrain kits to set up your laptop.
Yeah.
Could be cheaper, could be much more expensive.
Whatever floats his boat. But he has a question, which I think a couple of people have chucked in sort of suggestions for. But essentially, this is his first time in 15mm and in historics, and he was going, "I'll paint a base of infantry at a time." So that's like 5 men in 15mm, but you might need 7 bases for a platoon. And he's losing his nut trying to stay focused. So if anybody has any clever hints or tips for how he can go about painting a load of 15mm without,
Losing his sanity.
flipping the table or anything else, feel free to chuck it in there. Also, it's quite nice just seeing him getting into historics and trying to sort things out. My own personal way would be, reward yourself, paint a gun crew, then paint the gun as a reward. Paint a platoon and paint some tanks, break it up that way. Don't paint all the tanks in one go, just paint that tank, that type of thing. But while it works for 28mm, for smaller things, might not work quite as well. My feeling is he should probably be less worried about painting 15mm stuff. I think he may be trying to, it's a mistake a lot of people make when they drop into smaller scales, is if I paint, shade, highlight, second highlight, detail on a 28mm figure, and then you pick up a 15 and a 15 has the same amount of detail as a 28 does, the compulsion is to do the same thing. At that point, you will go mental. He should probably just go, they're all going to get black, and they're all going to get dry brush their uniform colour, and then I'm going to paint their flesh on, and then I'm going to walk the fuck away. Because when you're that far away from a 15mm figure, it's the effect of all the troops together.
When he started to try to paint the eyes in 15mm, I think that's the point of no return. But he has set himself up with a very nice workflow.
Yeah.
So I think if he adds some beer to it, he could manage painting them up.
Yeah, being able to see progress, being able to move, models from one side to another. But I think he was saying, because I don't even know if that might just be all the infantry from the box set he's attempting to do in one go. And I think that may be too much. He may be better off just going, I'm not going to do all the infantry, I'll do the guns. And now I'm going to go and do some half-tracks. And then I'm going to do the first platoon. And then I'm going to go and do some tanks. But regardless, there are clever people in the chat who hopefully are in there smashing buttons. I can't see, because for some unknown reason, OTT has logged me the fuck out. And I'm not logging back in now on every single page.
Well, maybe you have been online too long.
Could be that.
Well, the next is 13th Armored Division Sable Knights by Zebra Outrider.
Yes, it is. I should have flipped this to oldest first, because we haven't been here, or rather we were here and he just had the tank and the idea.
Well, then we'll flip it.
Flip it real good. Because it's quite nice.
Yes, I remember the inspiration pages and the old box sets.
Yeah, because after that, it goes a bit off book, off piste, in doing certain things. And I just thought I'd show this. So we'd seen up to the Commandor
when he has painted everything black.
There we go. Yeah,
May 24th.
Yeah. So,
and then he started making paints.
Yeah, broke out the old wheat dwarf, and decided how to go about matching this up. But it's when you start to get into the latter part, which is that very expansive, shall we say, eagle down its flank, that things start to get interesting. I will say right off the bat, interesting way of doing stripes on the bum hole there. I wouldn't have done that. I would have masked that off and resprayed that part grey.
Probably.
Because covering over black there, pain in the backside. But he persevered. But it's this Imperial Eagle.
So he did a transfer, and that isn't the most forgiving surface for a transfer, I would say.
Really isn't. This is his first attempt. And that is because you need to spray homemade transfers with gloss varnish. So if you're unaware of how homemade transfers work, it's a delight. You get your transfer paper, which is just one big sheet. Print on it, well, either inkjet or laser printer. It's important to know transfer paper is made specifically for either laser or inkjet.
And they're not compatible.
They're not compatible. So make sure if you are doing them to pick the right one. And then once it's done, you can... I picked up a bottle of this to see what it was like, which is Microscale's decal film, which advertises itself that it will restore old decals and can be used as a ultra-thin film over the top of the spread, because without something over the top to seal in your ink, when you drop it into water, your ink is just going to come off that glossy, shiny surface. I will say, after having had this, no, it does not repair old decals that are still on the sheet, that are starting to crack. And I found gloss varnish much better than this as a decal film, which is why this is still entirely film. So don't waste your money on this. If you are going to print your own, just use gloss varnish. That's my handy dandy tip. You can go back into that corner.
Maybe you should do a jerry can on self-made transfers.
I might. I am going to be doing one on applying transfers to irregular surfaces, because I did one in the past which was very, just very basic. Here's how you do transfers, but not using any of that shit, because Warren seems to think things like Microset Microsol will melt the transfer paper away and leave the inky image pristinely on top without any sign of the transfer. It's just like, no, that's not how any of those work.
I think they just soften the medium to a degree that it's nearly liquid.
Yeah, but it will never melt away. It will never hide the fact there's a transfer on there. So yeah, this was not his finest hour, but he has managed to get it scraped off, and is going to give it, the old college try, as I believe the Americans say.
I think this would have been a perfect situation for a stencil and an airbrush.
Yes, that would work.
I think that would have turned out the optimal way, because of this very irregular surface he was trying to get on. Either that or doing a very, very labor-intensive freehand.
Which is what he's turned to here at the end. But even with the transfer, even doing a homemade one, because the surface is that irregular, you would have to go in and work out where those folds are going to be, because when you start to push it on, it will not end up with those straight lines anymore. So you would actually need to work out a transfer that isn't that eagle shape, but is that eagle shape distorted. So when you put it on and then push it into place, it takes account of the ridges and all of that, and that's a world of 3D madness.
Either that, or you cut it in ways that the raised edges are a separate transfer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you just cut it into chunks and then paint the doors white around the tops and edges. But it's nice to see that you just went, I tried, didn't work. Fuck it, made some lessons. I'll be better next time. In the meantime, I'm going to hand paint it. And, not a bad job.
Nope.
For hand painting it.
I'm struggling to say I could have done better. I doubt I would have, basically because I would have been so frustrated after the experiment with a transfer that I possibly would have gone, fuck it, let's do it white.
Fuck it, we'll do it live. It is the way to go.
If
is
all
the way.
else fails, paint it black.
Bam, 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 bam.
So, what have you gotten for us next?
Well, because I'm a delightful man,
Infinity
some infinity.
by Yosh Togo.
Hmm.
Does that mean that's a Yosh we can take out?
I think so.
Okay.
Makes sense.
So he's done some very lovely minis with some very nice basings.
Done quite a few now. Because I've been following this for a little while. We visited it several times in the past, where he was doing nomads and stuff in sort of red armor. But I really like how the basing sort of ties them in.
And he's really using quite a variety of bases. It doesn't get boring.
No. There's a lot going on there. I don't know who makes them. Presumably, I know there are a few companies that make stuff specifically for Infinity. Presumably, it's one of those that they are actually Infinity bases. I don't know if he's ever actually said, but I quite like how he's going, my photography sucks. Hopefully I'll get better pictures later. But each one of these is a joy. They're just absolutely gorgeous.
So these bases with the little edge highlights on the lower side, this is a specialty for Infinity?
Yeah, you need to have arcs. So the clever thing to do would be to have them on square bases. But for reasons, because circle bases. So for years they've come up with various half-assed methods to actually define where 180 degrees on the base is. The most recent of which is actually molded shapes on the base. So because for a while they didn't, you actually had little half-moon things that you would put onto your base and then paint, so that everybody had a 180 mark at the same point. It was just a load of balls. Just use square bases, you fuckwits.
So what's your opinion on hexagonal bases like Battletech has?
Oh, hex would work. Hex would have made more sense for Infinity than circular. You want to play a skirmish game, but you need to have specific arcs of fire. Fucking use hexes or squares. Don't start getting people to hand paint where 180 degrees is on their circular bases, because I've seen an awful lot of people do it, and they're generally very bad at measuring, apparently.
On purpose, or maybe just...
No, I just imagine quite a lot of people are just shit at maths. Just, 180 degrees, more or less.
Who's counting?
Who's counting? Yeah, 3 corners in a triangle, all that.
This is a nice one. Disco Dancing Stew.
He is really nice. He's sitting there. I broke his arm off at some point.
Why would you do that?
Because I'm clumsy. I was trying to move stuff and drop things on him instead. Those are nice because they're not mechs. They're called tags, tactical assault, something, tactical armored monkey. Who knows? Anyway, it's generally somebody inside pulling levers, but some of them have the arms outside. So you'll see, and the robot mimics their actions. Other people who are less advanced have, all their limbs still inside. But I really like the idea of, little arms holding little gun and then big arms holding big gun and both going pew pew pew.
Or or just like this one, where he has no gun in his little arm and just pretends to pull the trigger.
Oh, that one's just that salamander's gorgeous. I should buy a salamander.
You don't have one?
No, I've tried to be very good, considering I have 4 factions for Infinity, and none of them have got past the clean-up stage. In fact, to be brutally honest, the only one that has got cleaned up and built are my Yuching, because A, they're super fantastic great, and B, I was at the boot camp. So I built them that weekend, and then I came home from that weekend, and they've never gone any further. I just rubbed, the dust.
All the humanity.
It was fantastic.
So basically you're saying you need another weekend.
Yeah, I need one where we just go and paint. A hobby weekend, but not for 40k. You know, just to paint. Just that would work. Would be all for that.
Well, these bases definitely took some work.
Yeah, there's a really nice one with the bases. Simply because he does a load of work on the bases and then goes, I've got to hear, I'm not sure. What do you think about if I do this? There is there. So they're very clean, they're very pristine. And he was asking, you know, should I go in and do like that edge shading?
Death Ray Designs High-Tech Sigma.
Cool, I'm all for that.
So I'm guessing
totally not Googling that.
They're probably made for Tau in mind, maybe?
Not if they have the little, well, those ones might be. But the ones that have the little chunks for Infinity must be made for Infinity.
Yeah, but I think these are just pieces of wood he's putting up on top of the regular
Right,
bases.
yeah. I'm currently on their website and having a poke.
You should know better. Next you know, you're buying stuff again.
No, fine. We're all fine here. No, I don't want fucking movement trays. You terrible bastards. Bases, okay. Bases fits Infinity. Oh, yeah. Oh, they're really nice. How much are they? Oh, no, they're America. That's right. I'm safe. We're all safe here.
Postage to the rescue.
Yep.
Well, that's an army box. That's a lot to paint.
This started with the Spring Clean Challenge, which was essentially I have 4 factions. I'm the first half dozen posts were just building, clean up and build, clean up and build, clean up and build, and then, right, now I've got to there, now I'm going to go and spray prime their base color, because Pano are all blue, Nomads are red, Hujing are super fantastic great, whatever happens to be, you know, combined army or purpley black aliens. So they would do, he's just going in and going literally, all Pano are blue, all Nomads are red, and then I'm going to go and start doing the basic paint jobs on them, and then do the bases to that standard, and then stick them on and go, okay, I can come back from where they are now, but for the time being, that faction is, for all intents and purposes, complete. So the Nomads are complete, the Pano are complete, and then just move through section by section, do a chunk at a time, and then down the line come back and do super detailing if once, or otherwise just play with them as they are. Because I don't think anybody in chat is going to say those painted ones at the start were balls, he should do more work on them. I think we can all agree we'd all be very happy to put any of those on the table.
I think Pete in chat needs a bit of encouragement. I think that idea of his is really great. Getting Sisters of Battles and wanting to paint them up like the termites in Nemesis from 2080.
Definitely
go for it.
Go nuts.
And I was just laughing because I reread the article from last time where we were on this project when he tried to bend his sword with heat.
Oh, yes.
Which didn't go too well.
No, did not.
And I'm going maybe on the limb here, but I don't think he used just heat, but maybe something more violent.
Well, you know, it could have been a lighter.
Could be.
That white metal, it's not quite as low temperature as lead, but it's low temperature enough that you can just melt it, because I've done it myself in the past by accident, thinking I could push something. It's a mistake you only make once. Once you realise that it will just suddenly go whoop,
whoops,
and all of an arm will disappear into a blob on your leg, causing you undue pain. You know, you just go, I'm not going back there again.
Or some burn stains in the kitchen table that you have to explain to your wife later.
Oh, well, I'm fine on that regard then.
Whatever happened to Warren and his superglue accident on his new table?
I don't know. I assume he's just got a child sitting on it at all times.
He superglued the child to the table.
There's just always one there.
Well, we've all been there and done terrible things to something we shouldn't have.
That's true. Like America.
We don't speak of those parts of the world here.
I don't know, but I've been really enjoying the new Purge reality TV show.
Yeah, the aliens watching the new series of What's on Earth are going, what the fuck? So, our next contestant, Orc, by a handy.
Yeah. He's not got much done. But you'll be impressed with what it is.
Oh, it's dirty orcs.
No.
Orcs.
It's easy for you to say.
Of course. 1, 2, 3, many, many more. I still, from time to time, get out my second edition Orc Codex and just read the fluff. I love that.
We should
so
desperately
well
try
written.
and find you a copy of Here We Go and Warg the Orcs, the original Rogue Trader books.
Are they even better?
Oh my god, they're so good. Unfortunately, I never owned them. I had a friend owned them. So he got those, and then I would get, Slaves to Darkness and Realms of Chaos. It was division of labor because they were pricey fuckers at the time.
The initial thought of a totally stupid race of violent creatures making up technology on the fly just by slamming things together and saying this will work, and it works. Don't hit the red button.
But, you can say that. There's a really great story, and I think it's in Warg the Orcs, where this orc is just sitting down the night before big battle, and he's just, he's dreaming or like having a wee thought to himself, and he feels really hungry, and like he can almost imagine that squigs are just, being
tasty,
being offered up to him, and he opens his eyes and there's just like one hovering in front of him. Adams at that point, a weird boy shows up and just it's more or less goes, all right, how about you come with me and I'll get you a nice copper staff, son, huh? It's just like, he just thought he was a normal boy, and all of a sudden he's floating squigs with his mind.
Yeah, one of the best stories I read was the I think it was in the 3rd edition codex when they were talking about speed freaks for the first time, really, and they described how it would be totally possible for an attacking orc force just to pass the defenders, move by them in a big dusty cloud, just to be happily screaming warg and drifting onto the horizon.
That's the way to do it,
And he's a lovely gawker.
Yeah, it really does. I particularly like that because the armor plates, which have a variety of transfers from 30 years of GW.
And so many different plates of armor. This thing is really cobbled together.
And you see them, not all of them are... There's a tendency every time you put a transfer on something like this that they all tend to face up. But if you look, some of them are in the corner and face down, and they're off-centered.
The Blood Angels logo was upside down.
Yeah, things like that. There's Sisters of Battle ones. There's classic Goth. I mean, it's just... This is someone who has been playing Norks for ever and a day, I imagine. And has just decided to go with it.
Yeah, this is a really nice piece of artwork. It looks really like it's a real thing, almost.
Yeah.
Most other Gargants you see are with the monocolor, a bit of like, they look like toys.
Yeah, very
They look
poppy.
cool, but they look like toys.
Have you seen the... Where are you at? You're at the over... There is... Ooh, stop. Hammer time. Oh no, it's back, actually. There's a really nice picture where it's a close-up on the gun barrel with the grot and all the kill markings.
Find that then.
If you go back up to... between Even More Dirt and Stomper Complete, that's the one. There you go. Both barrels of those guns, so the Gatling that the grot's on, plus the massive cannon below it, and they've got different kill markings. So obviously he's tallying I assume, troop counts
Big
on
bombs.
the Gatling. And then, big bombs is for the tanks what have been busted below. But I just really like those kill markings. I think that's an old Forge World transfer sheet. I don't know if they still do them. They used to do really nice transfer sheets that were like A4 size with loads of stuff on them.
And probably a bit pricey.
No, they were, weirdly, it was one of the few things that was reasonably priced for what you got.
So something the lower end employees have snuck by upper parts of the management. Just saying, okay, we have to print a piece of paper that costs us X amount and we have a 2000% margin. Oh, great. Yeah, it's still only 30p, but...
Well, it's the way to do it, isn't it? That's what they tell me.
This is a really lovely project.
Hmm.
And he's using microsol and microset.
Yes. For odd things. For flat panels, you don't need to. You really don't. It's a waste of your money, to be brutally honest. Gloss varnish, water, more gloss varnish. That's what you need if it's going on a flat panel, or even a curved in one dimension panel. That's fine.
That's an extensive project.
Oh, anybody who likes orcs should definitely be following this.
This is...
I
and
thought we
all
were,
the little
'cause
grottos.
I'm positive we were here before when he was spraying all the grots brown. So, I was positive.
Yes, we were.
We
But he
discussed this.
wasn't that far. We were only when he was starting with the basing of grots and sanding. So
This is my problem, and this is something you do that I don't do, which is you don't smash the buttons until we look at them on a Tuesday.
yeah, it helps. I really have to.
Whereas I follow everything, and then somebody posts an update, and it's like, fuck yeah, I'm in there, bam, bam, bam. Oh, excellent, this is all great. And then I think that we've talked about it, whereas in actual fact, it's been months since we looked at it. So
Yeah, but I found a little workaround for myself. If I really feel the urge to have the creator of the project know what I think, I'll just write a comment.
yeah,
Usually it's something nice, sometimes not. All depends if it's played or not.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Love the idea of a random pun dancer appearing and just slating somebody in the project in the comment section and disappearing again.
Oi, you get.
It's the way to do it.
As long as I don't start using German curse words.
That's fine.
But then again, I think most people would get some laughter from it.
Sorry, I just checked Fleabay to see what price Here We Go was going for.
By your reaction, it's a lot.
There's a copy being sold in Germany, so you wouldn't have to pay as much in postage.
But
I'm just going to close that, and we'll just edge away.
so it was a how many numbers before the comma?
Just 3. Yeah, for a hardback, it's pricey. Oh, actually, I'm fairly certain I think the Trove used to have a copy of it. So I can probably give you links to digital copies of it anyway. So you can have a read at some point.
I just had to some eBay search emails put up to me, and there were some Gorkamorka stuff. Yeah. People are really asking for it. But then again, somebody must be paying the prices.
That's true. That is true.
So, how is chat? Are we all still alive,
Yeah.
or did we bore
Yeah,
them to
fine.
death yet?
No, we're all grand. Occasionally I look at what they're saying. It makes sense.
Do they still talk to us?
They're mostly, Danley and Gornser are discussing whether or not Gornser's some sort of singularity that's gained sentience is now infecting the chat.
Could be. I'll just have a look. Or maybe... Oh, yeah. Well, he seems to be German because he says "Moin."
That's why Dan didn't think they were a real person, because
Yeah,
nobody would speak
probably.
like that.
Well, I'm going on a limb here and say, hello, Alex. If I'm correct, wrong, okay.
Oh dear. Well,
Again, Günther. Yeah. He's someone I know from way back when. So if anyone would ask him some naughty bits about me, he would probably tell them, if he knew any.
I'm still going with the idea that it is just an AI. Singularity has happened on this live chat. That would be fucking hilarious.
We are all in our each other's dreams. Next, Mad Dog Stu has done karate.
Yes. Remember doing ones based on forms? So form of the unicorn, form of the dragon snake thing.
I see
form
goats.
And form of the goat, apparently. So they have been finished. The goats are a new addition.
Goaty goats.
Goats just got under the wire. Yeah. Shout out to Toros for highlighting these. So well done, you. Toros, old buddy, old pal.
What did he highlight?
I think highlighted the fact that the goats existed.
So he just got somebody to spend more money.
Yeah. Also, I'm not entirely certain if it was necessary to paint the testicles of those goats in pink to make them stand out from the rest of the goatee fur.
Well, if they are female goats, they look, they needed to be pink.
Well, there you go then. It's nice. It's these attentions to detail. I have to say, I've never checked out the genitalia on a goat, and don't plan on doing that anytime soon.
Well, but everybody watching now, being of a male gender now, is basically staring at goats. So men.
It's a great film.
I only know the trailer, and I looked at the trailer multiple times and was trying. Is this real? Did the U.S. Army really do such things?
Yes, they did. It's well worth watching. It's very funny. It's not, oh my god, laugh out loud, wet yourself funny, but it amused me going through the whole thing going, this is slightly hyper-realistic, but mostly correct.
It's so unreal, it's unsettling.
yeah, very much so.
Wow, so we have Goats by Mad Dog Stu, followed by, Robert. He's done Romans.
Yeah, I didn't really want to include this. But
why Romans, he asked. I would say because they don't wear tartan.
Yeah, he called me a cunt.
Again?
Said I had to include it. Or he was going to spit in my coffee the next time we were playing games. So, he's so mean to me.
Yeah, but then again, we're all mean to you.
That is true. That's why my eyeballs explode.
Oh, look, Webbits.
Oh, question. Are those 25mm bases? Or are they 20mm? Don't tell me I'm lying. Can't be lies.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies.
Awesome.
I would say it's 20mm, judging by the paint pot. Correct.
20. Good. That's alright. I mean, you could put them on 25mm, but why waste your time?
And space.
Well. So these are from Agema, Agagugu. Push my enamel, shake a tree. But he's done some nice work on them.
Yes, he did. As we are expecting of him as a senior member of the cultists.
Well.
No less.
I assume
but did we see these before, or was somebody else using the same models? They look familiar.
I don't think we've seen these before. Well, I have seen these before, but I don't think we've seen them before on the show?
We had. There it is, April 28th.
Oh, there you go. So way back into the mists of time. But yeah,
In the ancient grey before times.
very much so. Very much so. Are you planning on painting their shields or transferring their shields, or are you just happy to leave them blank, Roberto? Call this my need to know. I'm now curious.
Some shields have got some design on it, some freehand, the little round ones.
Yeah, it's specifically the big scutums. Don't know yet. Fair enough. I've decided just to go with little big man and just went fuck it.
Transfers all the way.
Transfers all the way. Don't have to think or anything, like a Michael Palin TV show. Don't even have. Just sit down and just let it wash over you. Oh, he's very soothing, that Michael Palin.
They
are nice.
There's something to be said for a TV program that is soothing, relaxing, and a no-brainer.
Yeah, Norway's slow TV is fucking amazing. You know, until you've watched 18 hours of just a cruise ship slowly going through the fjords. No, not anything on board. Not this tacky reality shite where they'd be looking at, oh, Jeff's just got off with Jane, but Tommy doesn't even know this yet, and he thought he was gay. Oh,
you mean Love Boat?
No. Any of that modern muck. It's just, let's put a camera on the front of the boat, looking out towards the border and all of the terrain, and then just do that. It's quite good.
Well, we have something similar in the late night television, but it's a bit of special. Well, there was, I don't know if that's still a running thing, but we had cameras mounted to trains.
Oh,
so
nice!
So you could travel Germany by train, all night long.
That is excellent. I know they had a 24-hour stream at one point of just a log fire burning. This was just a camera on the fire. That was it.
Well, that's
occasionally a new log would be added. It was like, oh, how can I handle the
excitement? Too much. I can't take it. Next off, bugger off.
Yeah, this is good because this makes me feel better about myself and my slow pace.
Because he's slow?
Oh, I mean, this update has come hot on the heels of his last update. But, it started in 2018. Then there was like nothing for a year.
Well, then let's go to the last time we visited it.
Did we ever visit it?
I don't think so. We're already 2018.
It's literally, it started in 2018. So it started post boot camp. So it was the Western Desert Boot Camp, and I was like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do all these massively awesome things. It's like, spoilers, he did not do any of those things. He ordered a shitload of stuff from other companies for other games, then just put these in a corner and forgot about them.
Pete, why would I say porn? Porn in public television never happened.
Huh.
There's a few things to be said about Germans and porn, but actually it never happened on TV.
Well, you can't have everything, I suppose.
No,
you can't have everything. No.
Well, so he, at the start of the year, I think that will coincide with the Sprinkling Challenge, he decided to use metal minis.
Yeah, which is quite nice. Despite having picked up a bolt-action army from the boot camp, which was some metal plus mostly plastics for the infantry, he decided he wasn't a fan of the plastics, so he's actually gone with those are artisan designs metals, and I know this because I have them up there. Weirdly, they're fucking painted, the ones I have.
Impossible.
In my defense, they were sent to me by a friend from Estonia, so I have no, I can't even claim the fact that, but I do have them and they are painted. So,
well, you didn't say you haven't said you painted them.
No, that is true. That is very true. But yeah, so he had a little spurt. So in January he built a gun, and then in February he ordered a load more models. So that was good. And then he obviously had to go and have a lie down in March and April. But towards the end of May, he woke up long enough to start throwing colours on the Rommel.
I see where you're getting with the it makes you feel better.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. So does. But he's he's getting them together quite nicely. He's staying on target.
Yeah, and let's face it, if you're making steady hobby progress and it's your pace, go for it.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Nobody is in this hobby to be pushed or punished for being slow.
No. Although, if you can punish people, you definitely should. Oh, stop. Before we go any further, can you go back up to the one you've just slapped buttons on?
The one with the multiple paints?
No, one above. And it says, and the rest plus some winter Germans for Stalingrad. And this is what I like so much. So this is his Deutsche Afrika Corps. and after making such progress of actually getting some paint down on some of the Germans in North Africa, he immediately decided to do cobblestone bases and heavy winter coats for people in Stalingrad on the Eastern Front. I'm going, I fucking love you, man. You're such a hobby butterfly.
A wee bit. Well, actually, he's not so far off. So we can't really call him a hobby butterfly. He's just switching theaters of war.
It's just switching theater. It's a fair cop.
And let's face it, after painting everything in orange, brown, desert color, I think some snow is really...
Yeah, it's like Ice Cold and Alex. Great film. Just spend their time pretending to be washing and stuff and thinking about, how good it would be to be cold instead of sweltering your bollocks off in the middle of fucking nowhere with no water to drink. So I imagine that's what it was. It was just like cabin fever set in. It's hot in Ireland. He's sweating. He's painting Africa Corps. He's feeling terrible. Everything's bad. It's like, oh, I know. Oh, brr, Eastern Front. Oh,
it's
so cold.
It's all make-believe.
Yep.
So, next up, random stuff.
Random.
By Flat Battery.
Stuff. Yeah, I didn't just include this because there were Star Wars figures in it, because that would amuse you.
Yes, it does.
Although I did just include this because there were some Star Wars figures in it.
And it's, the first picture alone, it's really all over the place.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's amazing. It's like, what have I got here? I've got some Stormtroopers. I've got Batman. I've got a Sigmarine. I've got one of those.
Where's Batman? I can't make Batman out.
But see the super light blue one? That's a Batman figure from one of the board games. I've got some Sisters of Battle. I've got a little ghost. It's like, yay, miniatures.
All the plastic I've found over the years.
Oh, yeah. I took a ball of blue tack and dropped it in a box and rolled it about. And anything that was stuck to it when it came up, that's what my project is.
And I thought he was wearing a very long coat and running through some tabletop convention, and everything that got caught in the coat will be painted later. That
would work too, yeah. Yeah. It's like putting on Velcro suit and running through a fucking sweater shop. Whatever sticks to you keep. So this is a bit of Batman. So that's a 0-year Batman from Gotham City Chronicles. I have no idea what Batman 0 year is.
I think that...
But I will say...
So many comic variants.
Yep, we're with you. But he's gone too dark on those gloves. Look at the picture, and then look at the miniature.
Oh. Again. Yes.
So
you're absolutely right.
They should be fucking pink.
They are so pink, they should have object source lighting.
There are no comments on that yet, but I do feel like people
we will change this now.
Should the gloves not be pink? Great paint job there, but should you not have got a bit pinker on those gloves? Go back, get testicle pink, throw it on there. You'll feel happier. Batman's got a crossbow. What the fuck is going on with this? This is madness. No, I'm not going to get back into comic books, especially not whatever madness that is.
Not with the prices what they are today.
No. But it's just such a delightful variety of stuff, and it's all been painted really nicely.
Makes you wonder what will he use them for, or is it just painting for the heck of it?
Now, the fact that there's a Nighthaunt and a Sigmarine, either he got the Conquesty ones for cheap, and it's just something different to paint, or he's got the starter set that has those in there, and these are his, because he does say they're like test paints, so these may just be the first of 2 full armies. But the Snowtroopers are particularly nice, and the Snowtroopers have a full painting recipe.
Yeah,
which
and they look really, really nice.
Mm.
Also, the Stormtroopers are coming along nicely, and I see the Penguin.
Yes. Oswald Cobblepot himself. And at the end of the day, isn't that what everybody wants to see?
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito, yeah. Well, I was going to say Meredith Burgess, because he was a better Penguin.
That was the one from the...
Burgess Meredith. Never remember what way. He has 2 names that shouldn't be. But anyway, yeah. So whatever way around they go, somebody will tell us in the chat.
So then...
Did somebody... Sorry.
No, go on.
Panzer Kaput is now referencing the Red Shoe Diaries.
Yes.
It's Burgess Meredith, right? Okay. That makes slightly more sense.
Why is Pete so upset of painted snowtroopers?
He's not? No.
No, snowtroopers that are painted, no.
Oh, he probably has some of his own to paint.
Well, I have painted some too. There.
Don't
A
worry,
whole squad.
I've not painted any of mine, so there we go. Go me.
Next up.
Oh, I just realised he's painting his Imperial Guard the same way I'm planning on painting my Imperial Guard.
Whenever you come around to it.
I did a test squad years ago. They're buried in the cupboard behind me.
So they're one step after what is in your mind.
Yeah, well, no, it's it's a 10-man squad, fully painted. No, that's a merest fraction.
How many men are there to a Imperial Guard army in a normal game?
I have no idea in a normal game, but whenever I built them, I always built them to max out. So you go, 5 10-man squads plus a 5-man command squad, and that's one troop's choice, and then you take 6 of those. That's how all my Imperial Guards start. And then you add in heavy support. So that's 5 3-man heavy weapons teams that added to your command HQ. And that's an Imperial Guard army. And then anything else you can fit in afterwards is great.
Well...
So, yeah.
Oh, Pete, I didn't want to make you feel worse. I didn't. So, what do we have here? Josh to go again. We had this dude on here today before, and he
did. He did very nice and today.
I remember that.
But then he's also done this, and I felt like I couldn't go past this.
Is that the same you showed off on a weekend way back when?
I can't remember if this was because Hazy Boy has also done Vision floating through the rock.
Maybe he was inspired by him.
And I think it's Hazy Boy's one we showed on the Weekender, as I criticised the fact that he paints like a fucking demon. And again, Josh here has also done something similar, where painted many lots.
Many.
Yeah.
Too many.
Oh! Stop! Go slide back up. Have you seen his unique storage solution?
Yes, that's a very cool idea.
Army surplus ammo case, and then magnetize your bases, and they just stand on the inside of the walls. Fucking great!
And if you were now to use some comic backdrop on the ground, the sides, that would look even more weird.
Oh yeah. Oh, or even just get a landscape of like an actual comic book panoramic shot of like New York City or whatever, and then just have that down the wall across the back and coming up again, so it looks like they're in the city. Yeah, being all inceptioned. Anyway, yeah, I just love that. It's great.
Plus, if you lose, you can hit your opponent on the head with it.
very true. There is a fair heft to those you can really get in there. But again, this is another one of these. I'm going to paint them up, and I'm going to catalog every single thing I've done, so you can follow along at home.
So many pictures.
Yeah.
That's a nice code.
Oh, it's great.
I wonder if that highlight is really a light reflection or maybe painted.
I think it's a light reflection. He has said some of his Lloyd shots are Jerry shots, and the Winter Soldier is quite overexposed. I think because the metallics, you can see the metallics are reflecting quite a lot of the light back.
Well, to be honest, I struggle with metallics every time I have my painting lights on because I can't see shit. I'm always wondering, did I paint this? Is this painted?
Yeah. I took some pictures of my halflings the other day, and they were just gloss black primed, and the light was so reflective. I'm looking at them going, they look like they've already got the metallics on them. They're so fucking shiny, and I can't tell if they're dry or not yet because they're so fucking shiny. So I had to gently set them down and put something over the top of them so I wouldn't touch them, because the last thing I wanted was a fucking thumbprint on some halfling's head.
That would be a bit dampening.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Yeah, these are all really nicely painted, and I think that's more than enough for a friendly two-player game.
Oh, substantially more.
Well, I wouldn't know because I never played that.
It's a bit weird. You need 10 people kind of in your gang, in your roster, but then you also get a points value that you are playing your game at, or threat level value they put it at. So and then you draw people from your roster to match that sort of threat level scenario. So it's interesting.
So you select a team, but not everybody in the team gets played right away.
Yeah. Which is a great way of doing it. You know, here is my roster for today. What's the scenario? The scenario is, because the scenario is chosen between you type of thing. There's like different cards that are played out, kind of like Star Wars Legion, where you're, discarding stuff to work it out. And then you go, okay, well, in that case,
so
this is the sort of force I'm going to be going for.
So it's not totally randomized, but with a bit of strategy behind it.
Yeah.
Yes,
and now it's got to a point where you actually can't have two teams, whereas when they first launched it, it was just quite... There only are 10. You need 10 in your roster. That means you buy 2 starter sets, you and your friend, and you both have the exact same miniatures to pick from.
Well, let's see, what did he have in the box? Where's the box? Box.
The box
There's
is right
the
at the start.
Yeah, that's definitely 2 teams.
Yeah. We can go full Wakanda.
Well.
Wakanda forever. And actually,
up,
there's enough there to go full Asgard as well if they just throw Thor onto the top.
Could be. Next up, Long Live the Sheep.
Long live the sheep.
Model 6 of too many to count to completed.
Yeah.
Now added Lloyd shot.
Hello, Amanda.
Greetings, Manda.
Long live the sheep. It's a very short little set of stuff, but there's some nice things in it. For 2.5 decades, he's been collecting and playing, but very rarely painting. A crippling fear of paintbrushes and paint pots has meant that I've bought plenty of models, but the fear of mucking stuff up has meant you can count on the finger of one hand the number of models he's actually painted to completion. So he's decided to change that and start again. That fucking model there, that's why this is in here.
This is awesome.
That's just like, yeah, go for it. Painted eyes, tick. Painted wood grain on the sword, tick. Painted a Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon shirt on it. Arcade treble tick, y'all.
This is insane.
I mean, there's not a huge... I mean, that's you're halfway through this project already by the time you've hit that halfling. And there's not much much left painted after that, but it's really nice to see somebody who's gone, you know what?
The idea of getting a halfling with a Dark Side of the Moon t-shirt. How?
Why not? I assume quite a lot of drugs, just like Pink Floyd, was involved.
Oh, this is awesome.
Yep.
Little Blackheads, Lockdown Life, Model 2. I think
There's a couple more painted below. Yeah.
we had a brief look, or I had a brief look way in the beginning, but I couldn't really tell. But this halfling is genius.
Halfling's genius. And the other thing I like are the orc and goblins he's painted, because the goblins are painted with orange skin.
And the orc is
the
blue.
Orc is blue skin. With lovely blue gums and a big purple tongue. And it's just the fact, just go, you know what? This is how I'm painting them. So go nuts, long live the sheep, and long may it continue. I can't wait to see what comes out next. Because it's just very scattergun. It's like, I don't want to do batch painting. It's soul destroying. So I'm just going to go through and start picking random things out from my collection and paint.
And for some reasons, the goblins in orange don't look wrong or anything.
No.
And orcs, well, we have all seen orcs with blue face paint, so why not go totally blue?
Yeah. Who says they have to be blue? Or who says they have to be green, rather? I mean, orcs started off as red-skinned in Tolkien, I think. And a few other fantasies, they only went green later on.
And the next one we have, well, I've got a bit of a Lord of the Rings feeling from this one when I've looked at the picture.
Yeah, this is Douglas the Fugless, as I believe he insists on being called, and his descent into solo play Rangers of Shadow Deep.
Oh no, we have lost another.
Like to point out, he started this in January. So this was long time before. He's not like he's jumping on the Warren bandwagon.
January 2019, we have to say.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Oh, not even this year. Yeah. This is a long project, and plenty of people have seen it. I think more people should see it. But it's really nice because you get the whole idea of the Rangers of Shadowy Deep and their shadowy deepiness, and it's the whole building up of the team, putting the band together, the terrain, the monsters they're going to encounter. This is a big project, and well worth a pump through.
Yes, sweetie.
And even getting things like, I mean, there's an Aragon from Fleabay.
I was just asking, that is a GW Aragon, is it not?
Yes, yeah. That's the heroic jump off the ship and charge people pose at the end of the film, isn't it?
I think.
With the army.
Or no, it's isn't that the charge when they're at the gates of Moria?
Oh, who knows? They all look alike after a while with Aragons.
He's charging someone.
There's so many Aragons.
And he doesn't die in the first half of the movie.
That's true. He is not Sean Bean.
I always wonder, does Sean Bean have some kind of clause in his contract? Character has to die?
I imagine
just to get away from any potential spin-off series.
I don't do sequels. I don't do spin-offs. I don't do second seasons.
I must die.
Though he's from Sheffield, so it's more like, I don't do sequels, you bastards.
Well, this is a really... Oh, we have a drunken monk.
It's a good look.
Ben set a challenge to mess around with plastic on the Hobby Hangout show. 16th January 19. Well, I wouldn't remember that day. I can't remember today.
No. There's a lot to be said for not remembering it.
Yeah. Well, I think I'll just have to take your word that this is a long project.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we could get lost in here. We could literally spend half a Hobby Hangout just in this project.
So,
but if people haven't seen it before, it's worth having a wee a wee nosy around.
I
a
will
wee
have
pat.
hit the first 3 buttons and hammer a follow in. Just in case he's adding more.
Oh yes, I mean the most recent update was yesterday or today. So yeah, I know there is more being added to it. That's why I dug this one out. Dug it out.
Dug the
the
fuck. Oh, hilarious.
Oh, you see what I did there? See what I fucking did there?
So,
Anyway.
and we're coming up to the last project, which
Yes.
already looks great because of movie reference.
Oh yeah. It's also a relatively short one.
Greatish hobby cleanup by Joe Rugby.
Yes. Who isn't that Joe who won the Golden Demon Youngbloods competition back in '97? Which I thought he might be because I asked.
You see, that good. So we should not look at the project.
Oh, definitely look at the project. Definitely look at the project. Where are
So-
you starting with?
We have Spazmarines with a
I think there's been an update since. Yeah, there's been an update since we've been talking. If you hit refresh, there's a new post, and we don't want to miss the new post.
I've got a sneaking suspicion.
No, you don't have a sneaking suspicion, do you?
Oh, the douche canoe in 40k. Governor Drumpf.
It's the floating
Best
fat
governor
man.
ever governed. Oh, God.
Oh, that's just gorgeous.
Oh,
I don't know if that's a hassle-free one, because I do know hassle-free have done a few. Kev has sculpted a few Drumps based on Baron Harkonnen, but that is just a great
I'm going to say Baron Harkonnen, best Baron ever.
best Baron ever. Baron. Your
Yeah,
boy
this is
loves
some
to
weird.
be- They don't even have repulsors anymore. Do they in 40k? I don't think they bother.
Well, they have repulsor vehicles, so
But in the old days, you couldn't carry a heavy weapon. But you could just go, well, repulsors only cost like 3 points each. I'll just buy 5, slap them all over this las cannon, and just push it along in front of me with one finger. That's how you dealt with that. But, Anyway.
well, I wouldn't know. I only played orcs, and they have their vehicles,
no,
and that's enough. Sisters of Battle.
Sisters. Sisters are very nice. The little Reaver test mini, sorry, that we were looking at a second ago there, where I made you look away from, rather. There's some nice checkering on the kneecap.
Yes, I saw
is-
that. I was wondering if that was a transfer, but obviously
No,
not.
hand painted. So that's quite nice. We like that. That's his test mini for his Spec Ops tactical look for his Ultra Smurfs. And I think all the Ultra Smurfs would be better if they looked like that, i.e. not blue.
But then they wouldn't be Smurfs, would they?
Of course they are. They've still got their U on their shoulder. They're fine. I'll find you. But yeah, sisters are looking good as well. These I assume are the plasticky type of things that they have nowadays, like what the kids like.
What is cheap to produce?
Yep. I don't know what the crack is with the bolter that also has a crossbow on top of it.
What?
Oh,
that
did
one,
you not
yeah.
notice that? Oh yeah, that's not. She's not carrying a crossbow. That is a bolter with a crossbow on top. I assume the crossbow is just so she can annoy people. I don't imagine it actually fires anything lethal. It just fires like ball bearings or little bits of folded up paper like you used to do at school. Elastic band. It's just there to pink off people's heads who are annoying her, because presumably she uses the bolter to actually kill people.
Yeah, the crossbow is just for moral suppression.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Case of space vampires, maybe. That's what she's carrying out.
I could have used the other trigger now. Move along and attack.
But yeah, it's really
Or
nice.
it's some sort of short-ranged messaging system.
Yeah, that's one way of doing it. Message for you, sir.
I was thinking about that. I will avenge you. I'm feeling better.
Shall not be mortally injured in vain. Actually, I might pull through. Oh, sweet Patsy, you rest here.
a movie that keeps on giving.
Oh, it really does. Really does. But yeah, it's just
That's a different shot like we have seen before. How do we call this shot? It's not a Jerry shot, it's not a light shot.
I don't know. Answers in the
It's a dead
answers
shot.
in the chat. Perving out the window shot.
Sunbathing shot, yeah, probably.
I don't mean to worry that nurse, but in the very next picture, she's standing, side by side with some 3-armed alien freak. I would be less worried about administering the last rites to your dead mate and more about double tapping that fella when he's got his back to you. I do like the fact that the hybrid has 3 arms. He's just got all the pistols everywhere.
So this you've got to explain. We have a Chaos Warrior, a SWAT team, some generic 30s car.
Yes.
And somebody bathing in a bowl?
Why not? So where do we start? The generic 30s car is from Volsung, the steampunky game. So presumably that's something that they play as well, but I think it's being subbed in to be used as something else, whether it's just terrain or whatever. The Trader Marine is just a Trader Marine, Can't really get around that. That's just what that is.
Is he a traitor?
Depends who you ask. The Imperium, yes. The cops are Star Saga, so that's Mantic's sci-fi dungeon crawler, and they are just private security. So I can't see where's the lady in the bath. Oh, there she is. There, hang on.
On the right.
She looks like Baba Yaga.
She looks like the made-up witch from
the Holy Grail again.
Yes, the nose is giving it away.
She is climbing out of a cauldron, which makes her what's that mad Celtic one called? The woman is Raging Heroes. I know the semi-naked one is Raging Heroes. Is the one crawling out of the cauldron Raging Heroes as well? I can't remember her name. There was a cauldron that dead warriors were thrown into, and then they would come out alive. So
sounds like the story of the Black Cauldron, the movie.
And yeah, similar. The 2000 AD did it with Slain as well, so quite nice. But then it is heavily Celtic influenced. But yeah,
this project looks like he's been all over the place.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's again. I'm not saying that I like people who can't focus, but I am saying I like variety. And if I don't have to open 5 different projects to get variety, if I can open one project and just see bits and bobs of here, there, and everywhere.
Just look at this horde of people.
Yeah, I mean, there's
We've got a little girl with a gas mask. We have a British soldier with a gas mask. We have 2 space marines. Some hunking monster from 40k.
Amble, yep.
Some undead robot monstrosity and
that's
giant
Slay
god.
Industries. that's a big fuck off digger. Frost Giant from D&D, and then in front of him Minsk and Boo from D&D. He's got notice the guy with the sword's got a tiny gerbil on his shoulder. So yes, that's D&D. I don't know if that is a actual. Well, he's got a shotgun, so it's potentially World War One, but who knows? He doesn't quite. He looks a bit to me, so it might actually be a sci-fi variant.
That's too, all over the place.
The little girl from Hassle Free is great. That whole set of little kids running rampant in the post-apocalyptic wasteland is just absolutely sweet. I think that's Infinity.
A rogue psyker.
Yes. Oh, the story behind her, that that she isn't
great.
actually a little girl. She's just manifesting and wandering around and fucking shit up.
Reminds me of the little sisters from BioShock.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what he was going with. What the fuck have I opened there? Never opened that.
Wow. Again, somebody who's definitely painting too much.
Yeah, I know. Some people are terrible.
Now I'm feeling bad again.
The important thing to remember is that, one day they'll all be dead. Oh, that British-looking trooper is actually a conversion setup on Imperial Guard, so he is just a sci-fi British trooper. It's just really nice. It's great seeing it all. There's a bottle of Welsh gold. Don't be fooled. It's not. It's not gold. There are distilleries in Wales. They should not be allowed to exist.
Well, the background to his whole project is really interesting. He only can buy a new Mini if he has awarded himself points.
Points, yes. Genius.
If he can stick to the plan.
Yep. I mean, I'm all for it. It's a really interesting way of doing things. I wouldn't, because why would I limit myself?
I wouldn't even know where to start. Keep track of myself.
Yeah. But the idea that you get points, and when you hit 30 points, you can buy a new Mini, and you're going, okay, well, that's great.
It works the same way, like you're telling yourself, first paint these, then buy new stuff.
Bye, Gunter.
Have a good one. Greetings to your wife. Oh, this is a really shotgun approach to project, but I think sometimes it's the best way to stay focused and not go mental on all the projects you have on hold.
He's got the avatars over Troll Slayer as well. The only problem with a project like this is that they become so huge that if people come in and see something you've done and then realize that they're going to be scrolling for the next week and a half to find the start, they're less likely to go back and find the start. It means if I was looking for somebody doing a paint job on a giant or whatever it happens to be, I might filter by specific things, filter by fantasy or filter by genre or game or whatever, to try and find if other people have done interesting color schemes or have techniques in there. With these, that gets lost. But because I don't care, I really like them. So, that's a me.
And everybody is only, well, what you call it, needs to pay attention to what he really wants to do.
Yeah.
This is really nice. So, anybody has something else to say? People in the chat, any projects you may want to make us look?
Plans about saying it's nice that somebody else has got Slay Industries as well.
Oh, and now he's going to show you again.
Or Slay.
Sla.
Slay? Don't call it Sla. Mr. Slayer will get very annoyed, and you don't want to make Mr. Slayer very annoyed. Or even a little bit annoyed.
Well, it just read to me Sla. Well, I, for my part, have... you may have known that I like Star Wars a bit.
Ooh. Yes.
If it hasn't got onto you. And FFG, in their infinite wisdom, have released solo playing rules for X-Wing. These, I think they're already in a blog entry from
yes, I've seen that.
I still have to read this. I'm currently figuring out if it's in any way possible for me to make some sort of live single play, but I don't know if I can make that technically happen because I need the space, and I don't know if my laptop can manage the streaming load, but that may sometime suddenly pop up. I will not make some big announcements about that. If I decide to go, I will just go.
Fun.
Yeah.
Have you considered just recording it and then uploading it? If you can't stream it direct.
Yes, I did, but on the other side, Twitch has a thing that's called achievements, and I'm a little bit of achievement hoarder.
Oh, you're achievement board. Cheesy mints.
Yeah, and initially I didn't aim for any of these, and currently I'm just shy of 3 days streaming, different from Tuesdays, to be a what's it called? Affiliate.
Oh right, yes.
But everything,
I've heard of those.
every other thing I've already achieved for some other reason, but they need 7 days of streaming during a 30-day trial period. So only doing Tuesdays won't do it.
Won't cut it.
No. So I was thinking about doing some other things, but this is a far shot off, and if I don't do it, I won't. Recording definitely is an option, simply because I don't have to worry about someone walking into the kitchen.
Yeah.
But
Not
on the
resent
other
that.
hand, where's the fun in that?
Well, there is that. There is that. Do you just play competitive chaos through the Spectrum emulator?
Could be.
I'd play you. Fucking gooey blob. Yes.
So, more talking. No, talking never helps.
Oh no. Well, it depends. It's 10:10. I'm pretty sure we've gone past the half-hour limit again.
I wouldn't know. I stopped counting. Drunk talk, no. We are far from drunk talk.
Yeah.
Especially with Jerry only drinking water today, if it's water and not vodka.
No, it is. Oh, I wouldn't drink vodka. Poutine, on the other hand, maybe. But no. No, because otherwise I can't take the moral high ground and go, have you quit SNUS? Why the fuck not? I've not had a drink in a week. A fucking week! It's the longest I've gone without since I was a kid.
So next week's D&D session should be fun.
Oh, it's fucking, like 2 weeks into sobriety. Oh, I'll be balls. Oh, nobody's getting through that one.
As long as you don't go that way the coffee in Discworld takes you.
Canard.
Yeah.
Seriously canard.
I've just read the one of the City Guards novels again. It's just, I love these.
They are amazing.
When they infuse Vimes with the coffee and he
Clutching
just goes screaming.
Did you get the regular or the special brew? Well, you didn't say so. I got the special. Oh my god, we
should have
75 the
told
other
us.
ways. Quickly fetch me 2 fingers of beer huggers.
I just love this man's writing. He is insane.
Oh, you definitely shouldn't check out the miniatures for the range either then.
Oh, I know those. And actually, wait, I'll pull a Jerry on you.
Can we compare?
So I'm having a witch.
Can't be arsed in the corner.
I have a witch and a Tiffany Aching.
Oh, nice.
And I bought them for my wife and daughter.
Uh-huh.
And someday I will paint them up.
I have most of the range.
To be honest,
The guards are fucking gorgeous. You know why actually, this is a lie. I was about to tell you. I didn't buy them for Frostgrave. I bought them because they were Discworld. But after a while, I was looking at it going, I could fucking run I could run Frostgrave, run like some sort of Frostgrave scenario where you've got the guards and the wizards and what have you as, you know, various gangs kicking around.
That look should be awesome.
Oh, I'll have to... Where did I find it? Somebody has done a street scene. See if I can find it and send you the link before we disappear, because it was just a world of madness, absolute madness. I need that separated. Give me that.
Well, the thing is, MicroArts who do these miniatures are in Hamburg every year to Tactica, and they have a special Tactica discount.
Oh.
And last year I was this close to ordering the complete Discworld set, because they have a pre-order bonus to take away on Tactica.
Oh.
So I would have gotten the complete series for the normal price minus 30%.
I don't even know if I find this.
But it still would have been a 3-digit number, and that
Oh yeah.
wasn't.
Oh, well aware of how pricey that would be. I want that to close. That's all awesome, but I don't know if that's it.
They are just... Dutch has sent some link.
City Watch.
Let's take a look on the other PC. Before, maybe it's a... it's just the book.
Where does that bring us back to? That's...
The artwork from the books is also great. These are painted versions of the ones you see by MicroArt Studios.
Yeah. I have an issue where there's several really nice painting groups that I keep an eye on. And somebody recently did a street scene of Ankh-Morpork with the MicroArts miniatures on it. And then it all had internal lighting and stuff. It was amazing. I will find it and I will post them into Discord because I can't find where it is.
Well,
I'm not sure where I found it in the world, but I will find it again. Yeah, no, I would
oh,
keep...
dang it, they've done again.
Problem is I can't even search this under... Oh, is MicroArts not opening? That's a blessing for my wallet. It's like the Knack McFeagles. I should have bought the Knack McFeagles. Remember when they actually did the life-size ones?
Yeah, I think...
It wasn't MicroArts, it was Paul Kidby himself through kidby.org, his own place where he sells his own artwork. They did life-size Knack McFeagles, and I bought a couple for a friend, actually friend's missus, for like a birthday and Christmas. Never bought any for myself.
So friends, this is the set that was on sale. 500 euros. Minus 30%.
So that's a hefty discount.
Yeah, but it's still a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah.
But just look at those. Those are adorable.
I don't have the Moist von Lipwig yet, so I should get them at some point.
And I probably will get the remaining 2 witches just to have all 4 witches in a row. Though I don't know if I'm getting the Weatherwax on the broom or Weatherwax in the dress.
Oh no, the Countess dress.
Yes, it's the best.
Although I'm not sure which one it's supposed to be, because obviously there was in Witches Abroad, when they went to the big ball, they were kind of disguised, but I don't think they dressed up like that.
It's Weatherwax. Esme Weatherwax. It says on the tin.
Yeah, but if it's not from the ball in Witches Abroad, it has to be from the Masquerade Opera House, in which case she's described in the book as looking like a starling's wing, because it was black silk, black velvet, all of these but it was all shades of black and all subtle, so she shouldn't be that bright. I'm not saying that the person who painted it isn't a good painter. I'm just saying, check your fucking source material, fuckface.
Well, I have to admit, it would have passed me.
Oh, it must be Masquerade because she's got a mask. So, well, no, because it was a masked ball in Witches Abroad again. So, no, so that. Yeah.
But
so
makes you wonder why they didn't do any orc in the Masquerade.
I think she was a servant. Again,
no, they were. She had a red dress, if I recall correctly.
Oh yes, yeah, hussy.
There were so many good. Well, I'm not looking at shops today.
No.
Not looking at shops today.
No, just best not to worry about any of that.
This is just getting expensive. If I ever reach the point when I start giving people money live on stream, that's the point where I will stop streaming. Can't go that way.
That is probably for the best.
Yeah, I'm listening to some German podcasts who actually have the problem where you say, okay, now I need to buy this, and you hear him click away, and suddenly there's some money gone.
Well.
Yes. So we will call it a day. As we can hear, all my language capabilities are coming to an end. Someday I will learn proper English. I promise.
I wouldn't worry about it.
And maybe I'll do just one in German next time.
Yeah, that's fine. Do that.
Thank you everybody for being here. Jerry, thank you for your expertise on everything Tiny Little Fighting Man. I think we will hear from you at the end of the week. I will
possible.
Maybe on the Weekender, XLBS, or anything else.
Depends how much 40k is on it.
Yeah, I think we will see you again next week on Tuesday if I'm still alive by then and nothing happens. Well, I'm pretty sure, Maldrak, if I'm doing it in German, you will understand.
That's right, he can do it in German, I'll do my half in English. We don't even have to be talking about the same thing. Just go off cross purposes, it'd be fine.
It would be hilarious. And people on YouTube would go, what the fuck are they doing? The subtitles on that video should be very funny.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Kicking Google in the total wrong direction. Well, with that said, now off to bed.
Yeah.
Bye.
Tatty bye.